Hi, YouTube. This is just for certain people. I hope you catch it. Frog Leg University. You know, FU. So, what my train of thought is today is Satan remaking everybody, the ones of us that realize that we've been here before. Um, I'm just going to tell it like it is. These preachers out there that you don't want nothing to do with any woman and you treat them like crap and you act like they don't know doodly squat about nothing, then you think you're going to preach to me? You think you're going to teach me about God and about Christ and about the bride of Christ and what that is? Well, I got news for you. Satan wanted the bride of Christ for himself. He recreated her and she still wants nothing to do with him. But yet, go ahead with your gaiety. Keep on the same track you're being because you're being played. You're literally falling into the hands of Satan, becoming something that God would never want any of his men to be, thinking that you're going to get some kind of gains on this planet. And for the married preachers out there that aren't teaching people right, and they're telling people, well, the wedding party that we're going to go to and meet in a field is nothing, that none of us will ever have relationships and anything else in the hereafter. That's a bunch of hooey. I am telling you, we are all learning, including Satan, including the bride of Christ, how to enter the house of God without being a scumbag, because he put us in these vessels. Satan thought he was pulling a trick on God, and God was just using him for companionship, if that makes any sense to you. So, I'm going by what the Masons do know. They literally do worship Lucifer, but what they're not telling you is Lucifer in their mind, in their eyes, because of the name change and everything else, is a female. Yes, that's exactly what's going on. And when you are praying to Jesus Christ, unless you know exactly what is going on, you're literally calling upon Lucifer, the female part of Satan, and Satan. So when you're speaking to God and you're using the term Jesus Christ, you better make sure you know where your heart is at, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, I ran across a few preachers now that adamantly will tell you that the wedding in the hereafter has nothing to do with any relationships, and that is Christ and his bride coming back together after they learn what evil is. Because Satan, it's nobody did anything wrong. Satan murdered Jesus, and we're all here to understand exactly what happened in our history. So when we all come back together for that wedding party, and the 12 zodiac signs are the 12 divisions of Eve, the female part, um, totally separate souls of angels that were made for mankind, for relationships in the future and their offspring. So all of us will have what people would call or refer to as your twin flame, your desires inside, who you are, your values. Nobody's totally identical, but it'll be close enough where it will be a close knit family, whether that's 144 or 144,000. The rest of them are still in their learning stages, and it's going to take them a very, very long time because they chose to follow Satan. And that's exactly what's going on, and the Masons know this, and I know it. And I'm telling you, this is the truth. So when people try to give you that empty feeling that there's no closeness, relationship, no hugs, no kisses in the hereafter, I'm telling you, kiss my butt. It's all a bunch of bullshit. So that's Satan wanted something he couldn't have, and he killed to try and get it. He manipulated DNA to try and get it. So God put Christ's blood in everybody to make his children that were going to help him reappear and say, you know what, Satan, you're not getting away with this. Um, I put Christ back in their blood. He's never gone. And Satan knows that because he's entered vessels before and found out that there was just a little spark of goodness in him every time, a little more, a little more. Where people seemed to be getting worse and worse, he was actually getting better and better. So, yeah, to the point where he doesn't want to kill anymore is what God's trying to get out of that for everybody. So that's my take. I mean, if our relationships don't work on this planet, don't fall short for yourself and think, you know what, your desires of your heart of having relationships and friendships that are true, this is what God wants for us. It's not um as empty as these preachers want you to believe. And it is an empty feeling when they say that crap, isn't it? God doesn't want you to feel like that. Now, let's think logically about this, okay? This is true. This is all true, what I'm telling you. Don't let these creeps twist things for their own means, what they're going to get here. Okay, here's another scenario. Just one moment. I'm going to light a cigarette and then I'm going to, it's not a tangent, but it's a little bit more in depth on that marriage thing. So they have the married man actually believing this is all you get because men are very physical normally. Um, this is it. So enjoy your wife now because there's nothing in the hereafter. Does that really sound logical? Will be the same people. And making love is not filthy. Sex can be, but making love isn't filthy. So they're trying to make you believe that there's absolutely nothing physical in the hereafter, that we're just like a ball of light floating around and we're happy about it. It's not like that. And logically, if you really think logically of your desires, and it says God will give you the desires of your heart. So, what's everybody's desires? Not to be alone. So, if you were lonely now and you didn't get what appeared to be good for everybody else, do you think He's going to deny you that? No. God's not like that. That's like giving one kid a sucker and not giving the sucker to the other kid, too. God would never do anything like that. So if you think about things logically, these Satanists that don't maybe even sometimes know they're working for Satan are going to sit there and tell you that the wedding is just marrying Jesus. No, no. It's everybody that's worthy to have a relationship at that point will be. So that's it. It's like God's going to pull you aside and give you a talking to and say, hey, come on in. You know what? I have somebody just for you. This is exactly who, isn't it? And you'll know. That's my outlook. So that's what I believe. So you can tell me what you think about it or not. And I know some people don't believe in God or Satan. And that's okay too. Um, there are certain people on this planet that are put here, and we do tell the truth. And we're not trying to deceive anybody about anything. There would be no gain for me on this planet by telling you anything I just said. As a matter of fact, just the opposite. The people that want to carry on and make money by telling you you're going to marry Christ, everybody's going to marry Christ, and there is not going to be any desires, any sexual activities, or whatever, however you want to put it. No families, no children, whatever. Um, I'm telling them they can blow it out their butts. That's. I probably could have put that a little nicer for my audience or my friends, but I'm telling you the truth. The Masons know all that, Satan. They know that. They're working for him. They want everybody to believe that there's nothing you can do about anything. And they know just who they're worshiping. They'd love nothing more than to have everybody be unisex. So there isn't any closeness of souls and actual twin flames or a him and a her and the different parts that God gave to man or God gave to woman. Um, they would love nothing more than to believe that that is a combination of God and that is what makes up God, but that is not true. And I'm telling you that. And looking at things logically, when they push this crap about the bride of Christ being everybody in the church, no, it's not. Every man will have his own bride if you're worthy. That's a fact. Tailor made to your desires, if you could think of that. So, um, that sounds a little too good to be true. Well, what's good about this planet that's been true? Have you found anything or anybody? You know, I really haven't. You know, of course, nothing's perfect, but why can't it be, and why shouldn't it be? And why can't we learn to make a better place in the future for ourselves? That's what we're doing here. But they want to make you believe that this is an ongoing situation and everything is out of your control. When you have all the control in the world and the desires of your heart will be given to you. Not on this planet. Not at all. Satan put you here. He put me here so he could do whatever he wanted to us and with us and at us. And he's playing these people that are out there preaching and pretending they are the Messiah when there's 144 or 144,000 of them that are of that same person, the many facets, you know, that will be in all their own rights, their own souls, and they're serving Christ. While some of them are traitors and they're not serving God the way they are supposed to be serving God. So I'd say if there's 144,000, Robin's Hood had the right idea. I believe he's right on track that probably half of them are good and half of them aren't. And that's probably about the truth of it right there. So, and I'm of the belief that every woman has the protection of Christ and has every opportunity to become their own soul if they do things right, like a woman should do things right. You know, having eyes only for her husband and that type of thing is a really big deal. Extremely, extremely big deal. Oh wow, my light went off and back on. But um I'm serious. I couldn't be more serious. I mean, I do love everybody, but I would really rather slice my own throat than go in an area of my mind with thoughts of any other than my husband. Even though I'm really well, let's put it this way. Let I am gonna I gotta tell you. I gotta tell you because this is me. This is honestly me. Um, the only reason I'm not walking away from this relationship is because I cannot make it right now anywhere else with all my animals would be heartbroken. And so until I can find a stable place, which will be about a year from now, I can't do anything about it. And I'm not throwing away 30 years of work just because of hurt feelings. I can deal with that. So, but I have not been honored and respected in my life by anybody. And I have walked away from many, many, many people because of that reason. I'd rather have absolutely no friends than fake ones. And I think if a man wants to look at another woman in a lustful way or give her attentions that he wouldn't give his own wife, well, then bye bye, go do that. You see where I'm saying? I don't settle for less than what I want. I don't think anybody should. So I think the ones of us that really have not had the close, respectful relationships on this planet that we deserve and desire, we're not going into an empty life of something that we've never had that we watched everybody else have because they bowed to the dark prince of the air, you know. So, no, I'm not saying, oh, just go get a divorce and don't try and make it work. I'm not saying that at all because I don't really like quitting on nobody. And there's a certain amount, even in the worst people, you can find goodness. But then there's ones that live around brutality and that type of thing. Um, really get the hell out of there. Seriously, so, you know. But so that's what's on my mind today is these fake preachers ignoring the bride of Christ and exactly what that means. And bride, why do we have brides and grooms? Why? You know, if then Christ is the groom, yeah, for his bride, you know. And guess what? Satan has a wife too. And that's what Lucifer is. That's that dark part. And she's working for him out of jealousy. They got jealous of a younger couple. It's as simple as that. And they worked their magic and their potions and their poison and they murdered and they destroyed everybody and everything that they could in heaven before human beings were on this planet to get their way, to control God, to play God. Well, by trying to play God, God took that over. He knew what they would do, but He did give them the choice. And they could have remained in love and they could have been together, and they decided not to. Well, they will spend eternity together being disgusted about what they both did while everybody else is happy. That's a fact. So, The moral of my story is watch out for these fake preachers trying to twist words like the wedding and everything else because it'll be a mass wedding. Oh, yeah, there will be. And people that have died on different times and whatnot, they're resting. Everybody will be created again, just like we are here. Only it will be perfect. And that's what we're working for. And that's what we're here to prove to other people. Like, let's look at things logically. Let's look at the human desires, not the Satanistic ones. Even how Satan could put his finger or hand or succubus and incubuses in your mind. They'll attack a newly wedded people. Oh my God. That's their favorite thing to do is to try and even on your wedding night, if they can destroy any amount of tenderness or emotion or love in that relationship, they will do it. If they can destroy your children, they'll do anything they can to get their way because of their foolish ways and their lusts that they don't want to have to control. So these preachers that are even married out there, they don't want to have to control their desires right here, right now, because they don't care about the future, because they're trying to get dineros, monetary gain right here, right now, or recognition or whatever they want. You know, yeah, I want to be recognized. You're damn right. I want people to recognize that I'm telling you the truth and I have absolutely nothing to gain and a lot more pain out of the situation than it would be good for me right now if I just kept my mouth shut, you know, which I'm not going to do. So, and I've had a lot of people even trying to protect me, like, shh, don't say nothing. You say something, you know, Satan's going to come after you. And all his little minions and onions, or whatever you want to call them. I'm not afraid of anybody, and anybody comes up against me is really stupid because God always gives me the words, and I will always succeed. Always. One way or another. Doesn't matter. I win because I'm good, and I deserve to, and I will. And my willpower is that strong. So, what was it the other day? Geez, something happened that I had foresaw. Oh, little things like people will write or type something and I foresaw it and I knew exactly what I would write back, you know, them little things. It's those type of things that I used to see way off in the future are happening quicker in my life now. It's like I saw it a long time ago, but they're more often and quicker, if that makes sense. If you've seen something, not just deja vu that has happened before, but literally what I saw, what would happen now, and did, that type of thing. Sometimes, even with Doug, conversations are a bit rough because we've seen them ahead of time. So we try and twist it up, but it doesn't work so good. You know, that type of thing. So, and I know God's promises are to be true. And the words, no matter what they try to say, are different than what they actually are. The words are the words. And a wedding means wedding. Wedding doesn't mean one guy's marrying the whole world and then your whole rest of your existence is um, just standing in a field talking to Christ for the rest of your existence. It's not like that. It just doesn't make sense at all. At all. Makes more sense that two people would get together and go create things on their own in an artistic, clean manner. That makes more sense, doesn't it? So that's, you know, we're learning to create like that. And our willpower has a lot to do with it. Keeping strong here and now against the dark forces, that's a big deal. It's like when people say, oh, well, you should quit smoking. Well, yeah, well, whatever. Quit eating potato chips, whatever, or quit smoking. Well, quit drinking tea. That's not good for you. Do you know that? The tannins in tea or wine, even if they say it's good for you, did you know that the tannins is what they tan leather with and make buckskin? Do you know that? Yeah, it's true. And I know that Christ heals me from the inside out. You've seen me look totally terrible if somebody's given me a bad day or something. A couple days later, I bounce back. It's like my horse and I. This morning, I was a little sore because I slept with the window open the night before, and my back was sore. But I did a whole bunch of yoga. I mean, just like excessive core strengths yesterday. And this morning I was still a little bit stiff, and it was funny. I'm okay now, but it was funny. My horse and I, because she's older, we're sitting there walking together, like at each other this morning, like, I feel it. Ouch. She was looking at me, poor girl, because she has a bad leg. So it's like, yeah, I know. I'm taking her out her grain, and like I say, we're walking towards each other in pain, and we both got that same look on our face, like, ouch, yeah, getting old isn't for sissies, is it? you know so, or for anybody for that matter. It really is unnatural. So is death. It's really weird, isn't it? When you see something dead, isn't it not only ugly and grotesque, but doesn't it say to you that something doesn't seem right? Satan brought death upon. It's not natural. So, and that's what we're here to learn. And we're also here to learn our history when people start actually digging into the true words and all the meanings, not just the ones that they want to pick and choose for their own gains. And that's what I'm sick of. I'm sick of these little bitches out there picking a word out of the scripture and telling me this is what it is when I know the true definition of it and the meaning and exactly how God meant it, but yet they want to spit it out in a different dimension, you know? And these people are, like I say, thinking so far out of the box, they left the flippin' planet. Like, how weird can I be today? It's like in the weirdo statue or the weirdo what would it be, the weirdo prize goes to the greatest weirdo of them all. Here you go, Satan. And all you Satan babies, you don't get a prize because you're just stupid. you know who would be stupid enough to ignore a meaning of a word when they have it right before them? Those are the ones that are really in trouble, ignoring the true words and then teaching people wrong. Oh, your ass is grass. Speaking of that, no, maybe later. Um, I like to be as sober minded when I'm talking because I want to try and make my point where it makes sense, and I don't want to insult or hurt anybody, even the ones that deserve it. Well, that's not true. I do want to hurt you and insult you, but um not physically hurt you. But if I can mentally wreck your brain and straighten it up, I'll do that. Oh yeah, I would. There's nothing I wouldn't say to somebody that was teaching people wrong. Nothing. Nothing is beyond coming out of my mouth. if you're teaching people wrong. So um, look forward to more of my words slaying you, because I will be doing that. And I know there's a few of you that do watch me that are teaching people wrong for money or gains in one way or another. So, yeah, like I said, enjoy your gaiety while you have it, because they're going to put an end to that deviant bullshit too. So, and that's Masons are us. Any deviant thing I do is okay because the other deviant's going to cover me for it, you know? Well, that crap's going to end. What do you think? We're going to have a deviant party in the field at the wedding? See, that's what some in particular literally think that the old Baphomet is Christ, the him, her, she goat, Billy goat, Baphomet, Baal, part man, part woman, Shiva thing, weird ass concoction of both is going to be sitting there like kissing all over you in a field if you're another man. That Christ is going to like adorn you with a bridal gown or something. That's what these weirdos want to believe. That's what Satan told them. And they literally believe that that's what they are, that they will sleep with God themselves as the Son of God, as the Messiah. They believe that the Messiah will be the bride. That's what they're pushing. I'm pushing back. I don't like it. I don't know about any of you, but I'm not too happy with these creeps. And yeah, I'll say it like it is. I hope someday my granddaughters hear these words coming out of my mouth so they can understand that that's not the way this world was meant to be. This was God's home, and Satan intruded. Adam and Eve didn't do anything wrong, Satan did. Really. He intervened his semen, and that's why this semen thing going around is such a big deal, you know, if you know what I mean, with the different temples representing um, obelisks, penises, vaginas, that type of thing, was the creation of Satan's seed in mankind, the rape of Christ and his bride from Satan and his wife. And if you think about all this logically, it makes sense. That explains what the hell, and I do mean hell, is going on here. You know, Doug and I had a debate this morning. He's like, well, if you're way up in the wilderness in um, Alaska, 1,000 miles away from anything, you know, you wouldn't see all this evil. And I said, well, unlike you, I have been up on top of a mountain in the wilderness where it took me hours to get to town. And I only went like once a month because I was out there. And I can tell you, when you're on the mountaintop and you're out there by yourself, you feel it. You feel the evil in the world, and you even sense it more because of the quiet. And I said, so basically, what you're saying is mute. And so he quit talking. He's like, well, you told me it was mute, so it's not a conversation. I said, what you were trying to correlate had nothing to do with the point that I was making, that being alone out in the wilderness makes you feel more of the world. He's saying, so a newborn baby is evil. I said, in these days, absolutely right. Yes, it is. There's no soul untouched right now, born in this world, that is totally innocent because of what Satan has done to us. None of us. And without Christ, we're totally lost. And that's a fact. He said, so the trees are evil. I said, yes, they have a touch of that. He said, and the birds and the water. I said, from everything that is done, you're absolutely right. Yes. And he knows it's true too, because I know who I'm talking to. And he's admitted it. But that's okay too. I don't care. I don't care who believes me or not. I just welcome you to come and have one of these conversations around here. you know, really. I mean, you be safe. I'm like a martial artist extraordinaire, and there's really, I'm telling you, Satan himself is very fearful of me. Very. And all his little minions. They can pretend they're not till they get up in my face, and they try. You know how many hundreds and thousands of times the places I've been that these people have tried that shit? The best, worst pieces of crud Satan could throw in front of me cannot deal with me. So it's a little easier through this little tiny screen, but it doesn't help much when I get on your ass, because I won't get off it. Even if I don't speak your name, you know I'm there. We feel each other in ourselves. You know that's true. So I'm talking about being out in the wilderness. You can feel the filth of the whole world. And this is hell. So, welcome to hell. Welcome is not what you think either. Well, deep, come, welcome. Yeah, you're in deep. Yeah, time to go. you know. So, yeah, I'll go, everybody. I hope what I'm saying really touched your heart and makes sense, because I'm telling you the truth. Um, Nobody's going to be left out of passing out the suckers. The only ones that aren't going to get the Tootsie Roll on the wedding day are the ones that took the Tootsie Roll in the wrong areas and spread the wrong information to people. Now, that's the ones that aren't getting no lollipops, if you get my drift. So, and they suck. So, truth. So I do love you all. And I had to speak my mind. I hope it's clear. I'm gonna finish my creation story, and it isn't coming up soon here, because it's time. God kind of stopped me for a while there, because there are some people that had to play catch up, you know. So there's some that still act like catch up. But anyway, that's another thing. So yeah, just consider it. You might be lonely now. Stick your guns. Don't bow to anybody. Do not cave. Don't. Because if you're better than that, you're better than that. Don't let anybody tell you you're not. So, and I'm not just down on the gaiety of the man that doesn't like women, or the women that like each other. I'm not just down on your case. Do that in your Sodom and Gomorrah world. Have at it till you can't anymore. That's a fact. So I don't hate anybody. I really don't. And I wouldn't talk any different in front of anybody, and you'd still like me, because I'd treat you like a human being. And I'd teach you the right way too, whether you want to hear it or not. Do it here. You aren't doing it anywhere else. That's the facts. So, time to face the facts. Time's getting short. I think you feel things changing in this world. I really do. I know they are. I hope you know that too. Like I said, don't cave. Don't pacify people by telling them what they want to hear. Tell them what God tells you in your heart. You know, that's the only way to do it, no matter what. So I'll let you go. Thank you for joining me, and I appreciate your company too. Um, I do love you all very much. Enough to fight for you. So, peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. And one more time, for the gaiety of the whole situation, F you.